Hey guys, it's Anna and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a perfume haul and I'm so excited to share these gems with you guys. Like, these are some banging good fragrances. Starting with number one, we have Bond number 9 Greenwich Village. Now let me tell you, I was so anti Bond number 9 for the longest time because I cannot stand the shape of these dang bottles. I am like the biggest packaging snob. I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys, okay? Let's keep it real. If a perfume bottle looks ugly, I'm not even interested. Why do I want that in my home? Why do I want that on display? It's gonna frustrate me. It's gonna anger me. It's so trivial and stupid, but you know what? I am allowed to feel that way because I'm purchasing these with my own money, okay? And if I want good packaging, my gosh, I'm going to get good packaging. But Miss Alithia Marie here on YouTube, she got me good. She absolutely raved about this fragrance, and the way that she described it, I'm like, I could blind buy that. I'm not going to, but I just have this gut feeling I know Greenwich Village and we're gonna be friends. I knew I was gonna love it, and then with the comparisons to Baccarat Rouge 540, absolutely adore that fragrance. I'm literally on the hunt to try every single fragrance that's compared to Baccarat Rouge 540 that's not a dupe. Okay, I don't want a dupe to Baccarat, but I want every fragrance that has that amazing, addicting, sweet saffron note in there. I'm on the hunt to try them all. So if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. So I decided to put my feelings aside about the bottle and just try it, and I fell in love. Also, I think this is one of the prettiest bottles in the Bond number 9 collection. Okay, you are not going to find me with any Bond number 9s the Scent of Peace bottle, or you just have bows and oh my gosh, just the crazy designs everywhere. Nah, girl, you Bond, don't tell me you are charging $400 per bottle and your bottles look like that. It's so cheesy and tacky looking to me. But actually feeling this in person, this is really nice quality. I have to give them that. This has a soft matte touch to it. It's very luxurious. I appreciate that. And the color is stunning. My favorite color is blue, any shade of blue. And I count teal in that category. Sorry, I just went a whole tangent about the bottles there, but I had to get it off my chest. Going into the scent, this is a super feminine, girly, flirty, beautiful fragrance. This has the soft, airy sweetness of Baccarat Rouge 540, but it's much softer. Baccarat is a beast. It's a very dense sweetness while being light and airy. It's hard to describe, but this is very light. It's fresh. It has this beautiful light fruitiness to it, not in a cheap way. Some fruity fragrances are just Bath and Body Works or your typical designer fruity floral fragrances. It has very light, soft florals in here. This is literally spring in a bottle. I could not conceptualize a better fragrance for spring. And although the sweetness is very reminiscent of Baccarat Rouge, this actually has no saffron in it. So the sweetness is coming from praline and vanilla. Also, I just want to say, when you look this up on Fragrantica at the bottom where it says this perfume or fragrance reminds me of, the first fragrance listed is Baccarat Rouge, but I have to say this is not a dupe to Baccarat Rouge. They have the same last name, they're in the same family, but this is not by any means Baccarat Rouge. You can absolutely own both fragrances in your collection, and this is just so different. Baccarat has amber and woody notes, and the sweetness is a lot more apparent. This is more almost cotton-like. It's a little bit fresh, aquatic. You have light, dewy florals in here. Peony, water lily, jasmine. You get a soft, clean musk. And there is ambroxan listed in the notes. But this is really not like an ambery fragrance whatsoever. It's very light and in the background. I'd say if you wanted a more approachable, lighter, like everyday kind of baccarat that's more fresh, more fruity, lighter, like more girly, because baccarat is like very sexy, and this could easily be an everyday signature scent. This just has a much more soft presence about it. Absolutely beautiful. I'm just like head over heels for this fragrance. I'm so excited to have it. You guys, I feel like I've just made like the discovery of the year. I am so hyped about this and no one talks about it. Oh my gosh, you're welcome. This is the 7 Virtues Santal Vanille. Everybody hypes up Vanilla Woods from this brand, but you guys are sleeping. You are sleeping on Santal Vanille. I purchased this 11 milliliter roller ball because I couldn't find any like small little samples, so I just like went for it. When I smelled this, I really almost did it. I almost bought a full bottle, and I'm like, Anna, sit down, calm down. You have 11 milliliters. Like, how about you just stop, go through that, and then get a full bottle. And I've already gone halfway through this, so like that full bottle is coming to me soon. First of all, I have to say the 7 Virtues packaging just brings me happiness. I'm gonna show you a picture right here. How stinking cute is it? I can't. The aesthetic is just like on point. Also, super affordable. A full bottle is under $100. I think, was it like 70? I'm gonna look it up. One moment. $85 for a 50 milliliter bottle. Come on. This is actually leaking all over me because I took out the roller ball. I cannot, you guys. Do you guys feel me with that? Like, I cannot stand roller balls. Give me a freaking spray. Thank you. I don't have the control that I want with a roller ball, and I'm just sitting there forever applying the amount of fragrance that I want to apply. So I took that out, and now I'm using this as like a giant ass dabber, but now like the fragrance is going everywhere. Oh my gosh, that was a mistake. Okay, I'm like bathing in Santal Vanille now. The reason I am so hyped about this fragrance is that this is the feminine counterpart to Le Labo's Santal 33. I adore that fragrance. That's my boyfriend's signature scent. Super woody. It's like a dry, woody, masculine. It's good. It's strong. And I know a lot of women love and own Santal 33, but to me, it's just so masculine. And I'm totally into unisex fragrances. I have so many in my collection, but that is very male to my nose. So when I discovered this, I hit the jackpot. Also, really quick, even though I described this to be the feminine counterpart to Santal 33, this is a unisex fragrance. Absolutely, like perfectly down the middle, men and women can wear this. But this does have a softer approach to Santal 33. So it's still loud, for sure. It's still different, but it's not so intense and dry and just like in your face like Santal 33 is. And it has just a tiny little bit of sweetness in here, and it also has a little bit of creaminess. Adding those elements make what I would have wanted Santal 33 to be for me as a woman. This is mainly a wood bomb, so if you love woody fragrances, say less. So you obviously have a huge blast of sandalwood. You also have cedar, cashmerean, and then you get this fresh aromatic spiciness from the cardamom and the pepper. It makes it really intriguing, unique, different, and just frankly like addicting. It has vanilla in here, of course, Santal Vanille, and that's where that like bit of creamy sweetness comes from, but that sweetness is really subtle. You're not getting an apparent blast of vanilla. Like, I would not categorize this as a vanilla fragrance, but that bit of vanilla makes this fragrance so much more approachable than Santal 33. So if you like the idea of that fragrance but you want something that's not as harsh, get Santal Vanille. And honestly, I think it's better. Santal 33 is an amazing fragrance, but I think it's better. It's smoother, and it's something you can reach for like always, to be honest. I feel like, you know, you have to be more in a mood for Santal 33 because it is so loud. This has amazing lasting power and projection. This will literally last you until the next day. I feel so confident and just like untouchable, frankly, when I wear this. Like, I feel like a boss ass, you know? Like, don't mess with me, I'm not the one kind of attitude. Oh my gosh, I am in love. Next up is Lancome's Idole Aura. This is a brand new fragrance to the Idole line, and I haven't heard zilch about it. Absolutely nothing. And I'm like, how? This is per-frickin-fict for summer. I'm so bummed I did not discover this sooner. This is like my obsession right now. I can't remember if I've tried the original Idole. I don't think I have, but I have tried the Idole Intense, and it is a good fragrance for sure. I'm just not into pear in fragrances for some reason. These Idole bottles are so stunning. I wanted one so bad, but you know, that pear note, so I'm like, they're not for me. But then when I saw this come out and there's no pear in it, I'm like, oh, yes. This is the summery, salty vanilla of my dreams. Forget about Paco Rabanne Olympia. Forget about it. This takes the cake. I don't think Olympia is a bad fragrance whatsoever. It's unique, it's interesting, and it is good. It just wasn't for me personally. I think the salt was just a lot in that fragrance, and it just didn't wow me. This is lighter than that. It's not as salty. It has this like fresh, clean, crisp, like creamy white floral to it. The vanilla has this like slight powdery creaminess to it. It's like a soft, subdued vanilla, not a thick, heavy, strong vanilla. It has a feminine, soft musk. It also has the teeniest, tiniest bit of that almost like, and I'm like cautious to say this because it doesn't fall into that category for me. So like, take this with a grain of salt. Salt. It's a salty fragrance. I'm so dumb. No, but seriously, it has just this tiny little bit of a quality of that typical sunscreeny summer fragrance vibe, but this does not smell like sunscreens. That's why I say take it with a grain of salt. So think of like Juliet Has a Gun vanilla vibes, Tom Ford Soleil Blanc, but this is so much better to me because those are just like so obviously I'm like sunscreen to me. I'm like, no, I do not want to smell like sunscreen. So this does not smell like sunscreen at all. I'm just saying it kind of gives you a little bit of that vibe, and it just makes me happy. Like, I feel good. It instantly puts a smile on my face. It's so beautiful and light and feminine. This is so different to the majority of my fragrances in my collection. So much of what I have is, you know, more unisex, more dark, gourmand, stuff like that. And this is so different to that, yet it still smells like me. So when, you know, I want to feel more girly, get dressed up all cute, little heeled sandals, a sundress, like this is the perfect fragrance for that. Also, I did want to make a little side note. This base allows you to stand up the fragrance. I don't know if I can balance it on my hand, but like You get the idea. So that's an amazing improvement on the Idole bottles because, you know, the other two, the original and the Intense, you have to lay down. They don't stand up on their own. Highly recommend you check this out, especially if you love your more girly fragrances. You guys, I caved. I caved and I bought Parfum de Marly Meliora, even though I own Lalique Amethyst. If you own Lalique Amethyst, you do not need it. They are literal dupes. Amethyst is a little bit more green, it's a little bit more punchy, and this has a bit more of like a smoother, more refined take. I'm just a packaging snob, as we have discussed before, and I could not get this stinking fragrance out of my head. I have a list in my phone of fragrances that I have loved, and I'm going to buy bottles of them when I run out of a different fragrance in my collection because like they'd be too similar. And so I have this on my list to get after Amethyst, but I do prefer this one a little bit more. This scent also reminds me of my boyfriend because I had a decant of this fragrance about like a year and a half ago. And I wore it on a date with my boyfriend where at the time we were not like officially dating yet. And I got all dressed up, like full glam. I was wearing like a really chic white outfit. Like, it looked really good. I think we went to Santa Barbara or something for the day, and we went to this really nice bar or restaurant. I wore this fragrance and he complimented me and said I smelled really good. And Eric only compliments me on my fragrances when they really stand out to him. Now this fragrance just takes me back to that day. I couldn't get it out of my head, and at a certain point I was just like, you know what, screw it. Life is too short to not own the fragrance that I think is better, even if it's just a tiny bit better. Bought this and ended up decluttering Lalique Amethyst. So I'm super excited to introduce another Parfum de Marly in my collection. If you guys haven't smelled this or Amethyst, this is a very feminine, fresh, green, fruity, musky fragrance. And it's not your typical fruity fragrance because the fruit in here is unripe. So it has that tartness to it. It's green, but it's not like Mugler Aura green, you know? It's not Angelique Noir green. This is a very fresh, crisp green. Like after it's rained and you go on a walk in the woods, it's that kind of green. And there are also rose bushes and lilies in this forest that you're walking through. So you definitely pick up on that floral quality, but it's not like a mature, heavy, like dense floral, very light and airy, like quite literally dew-covered rose petals and lilies. Very elegant and refined. This is the fragrance to reach for when you are putting effort into your outfit for the day, where you are going for timeless, classy, like regal, beautiful kind of vibes. Next, I picked up Elizabeth and James Nirvana Bourbon. I have to say, I really like this bottle. It's simple but chic. It has like a little bit of a tomboy vibe. I really like it. I think it's so cute. And I like this texture on the bottle. It's the little things. And I just like this color brown. Like, isn't it sexy? It's like this ambery, warm, transparent brown. I love it. The moment that I first sprayed this, I was like, this smells familiar. This smells familiar. What is it? And I was like looking in my collection. I was like, oh, Guerlain's Spirituous Double Vanille. So right away, it gives me those kind of vibes, but this is by no means a dupe. Spirituous Double Vanille is much more complex, much more potent. It has a vanilla extract kind of quality to it. The incense in there is very apparent. Well, this is more of like a simple woody vanilla. So the two fragrances are related, but they're not dupes. But if you want the same vibe, check it out for a great price. This would make and does make an amazing layering fragrance. I've already been doing that. Just like woody vanilla. Like the possibilities are endless. That goes with so much. There's tuberose listed in here, but honestly, I don't even pick that up. It's just a really good woody vanilla to me. And I will say this is more woody than it is vanilla, whereas Spirituous Double Vanille is more vanilla prominent. Next up is Prada Candy Night. Are we surprised Anna has brought yet again another chocolate fragrance in her collection? Chocolate is one of my favorite notes in perfumery, okay? I cannot get enough of it. This is mainly dark chocolate, and I quite literally mean 72% cacao. It straight up smells like that with, you know, some other added little notes that I'm gonna get into. It has a very realistic dark chocolate bar, like 72% cacao Ghirardelli quality to it. It has patchouli, which gives it a bit more depth. It really like grounds a fragrance and gives it a bit of this earthy quality. Patchouli and chocolate just go so well together. It has vanilla and tonka bean in here, but I really wouldn't describe this to be a sweet fragrance. It obviously does have a bit of sweetness to it. It's not like just bam, bitter chocolate. It's not 100% cacao, okay, 72, but I really don't pick up vanilla or tonka bean. Like those are not the stars of the show. They're the backup singers. What makes this fragrance different and interesting to other chocolate fragrances is the bitter orange and neroli. So you have this little bit of a kick to it. It's like a little green, a little citrusy, and it meshes so well with the dark chocolate and the patchouli. It makes it more grown up. You have the name Prada Candy, and I feel like that fragrance is very associated with a younger audience, but this is absolutely for someone more mature. And I don't mean mature as in old. I just mean someone that's not in high school or younger. It would also take someone particular who goes to college to wear this. Like, you'd have to have the confidence and the attitude for it. This is not like your typical girly fragrance. This is the fragrance to check out if you love gourmands, but you want something more edgy. And the last one is Van Cleef and Arpels Rose Rouge. I want to just real quick touch on the packaging. I love this cute little dang tassel, okay? Just hear me out. I mean, like, cute bottle, right? Like, she's chic, but like simple. It's very simple. But you add a tassel, and now we're talking. I love the look of these bottles. I went on like a Fragrantica hunt and I just looked up like all of Van Cleef and Arpels fragrances, and I now have a list on my phone of ones that I want to try out because I want to bring more into my collection. Like, they really just appeal to me. I think they're so classy and chic. I really think they're just stunning. If you don't know, I believe I've mentioned it already, I am quite particular with rose fragrances. I feel like rose can either be very airy, light, dewy, crisp, or it can be dense, heavy, thick, mature. There's a wide spectrum when it comes to rose, and I like to be on the lighter side. This is the most rose heavy that I will get when it comes to fragrances. It's right on the borderline, but with that being said, I love it. This is an addicting, jammy, fruity, sugary rose scent. This is very similar to Lancome's Roses Berberanza perfume, if you've smelled that, but this is so much better. The opening on Roses Berberanza is awful. Like, it straight up smells weird and funky. Like, it's gone off. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to get a fragrance. Even though it's great, the dry down was amazing, but I'm not going to get a fragrance to have to like tolerate a bad opening. Like, I'm not going to go through it. It needs to be bomb all the way through, which this is. When you look up the notes on Fragrantica, I can quite literally pick out every single note that's listed except for the cacao pod, which is a little bit of a bummer because, as you know, I'm obsessed with chocolate. This has a very apparent raspberry and blackcurrant, which is where that fruity sweetness is coming from. There's pink pepper, vetiver, benzoin, patchouli that gives it this like rich depth. gives it like a tiny bit of earthiness, just like a little bit, and it makes it a more mature fragrance. Like this is for someone in their mid-20s and up, in my opinion. It's sophisticated and classy, but still fun. This is the kind of fragrance for a woman who's serious and professional when it comes to situations where you need to be, and carefree and fun in others. This is such a freaking addictive scent to wear. I get wafts of this throughout the day whenever I wear it, and I want to just keep spraying it. It's so good. Like that sweet fruitiness makes this fragrance. It's so addicting, and this makes an incredible layering scent. If you want to add like a sweet, jammy, fruity rose element to any of your fragrances, reach for Rose Rouge. With all that talking, I really lost my lip gloss there. So those are all the fragrances I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you want to see me in any more videos, I would appreciate it so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!